We good? You sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Yo.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to What the Tuck. I'm here with my man, Xavier Scarlett.
Man. Man.
I just like how I had Parker on, I've known X since freshman year,
Freshman year.
5 years ago. X did not play football, though. You was a track guy.
Yes, sir.
And you were great at it.
Yeah.
Went through some adversity, which we can talk about.
Yeah,
But
man.
man, I've known X for a while. We lived together for a year.
Yep.
Which was crazy. I mean, we low key like living in Burgess together. We all pretty much just lived together in that
Yeah.
time too. But
Big time.
yeah, man. Just you go ahead. Tell everybody about yourself. I know you've been on the
Yeah.
culture before, so people that have seen it, they know
Right.
who you are. People know you, but
Right.
for those who don't, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my name's Xavier Scarlett. I'm originally from Sioux City, Iowa. Came to USF on a track scholarship. Man, met everybody. Freshman year, literally just walking the hallways of our dorm. And you know how it is freshman year when somebody's door is open and you hear music or you hear a movie playing or something. You're like, yo, what's that? Next thing you know, you sitting in the room listening to music or watching the movie. And then fast forward 5 years later, here we are, right?
Yep.
So yeah, man, that's pretty much graduated from here in 19 last year with 2 degrees, thankfully, in biology and theology, and then now I'm getting my MBA in healthcare administration. So
It's tight. Which
Yeah,
is
man.
that story itself is pretty wild.
yeah, super crazy.
So X, for the whole last year, all year, he's like talking about I'm gonna go down to was it Truett Seminary at Baylor?
Yeah,
So
connected with Baylor.
yep,
Yeah,
connected with Baylor, had this whole plan going, and then life happens and it just kind of fell apart, and
Yeah.
you found this job as the resident director at
Yeah.
our brand new residence hall, North Hall.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you have the whole story, so you go
Yeah.
ahead and explain
No,
it.
it was kind of crazy, man. So I wasn't for sure if I wanted to do more schooling.
Yeah.
So just after kind of talking with my family about it, much prayer and just different things, I was like, I could probably rock out a couple more years of school. You know what I mean? Like do what I have to do. So I necessarily didn't know what I wanted to do. Kind of like what I wanted to focus on. So I thought, well, I can, I love studying different religions and different practices and things like that. So I thought about Truett Seminary, connected with Baylor, which they have a fantastic relationship with USF. So it was kind of like just, unspoken connection, right? Like I was like, well, let me go ahead and apply and do the things I have to do. So I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity that they gave me. I was fortunate enough to receive a full tuition scholarship
Yeah.
down there.
Which is incredible. I
Which
mean,
was
that's
super,
amazing.
Yeah, which was super crazy. Like I'll never forget getting that email, and it was nuts. But the only thing that I guess came back to not ruin everything, but just made me second guess about it was, even though it was a full tuition, I still had to cover my own housing.
Yeah.
So, just reached out to him about some housing, just some miscommunication amongst them and I. And, yeah, so by the time basically we began to communicate again, the particular housing I was looking for was already full.
That's tough.
Right. So then I had to go out in the city. And if anybody knows about Texas, especially Waco, like, if you want to live somewhere nice, you gotta,
You gotta throw the money down for it.
yeah, you're gonna have to spend a pretty dime. But if you're gonna live somewhere affordable, it may not be the best living conditions. Like, I'll put it this way: like, if anybody's from Texas, depending on where you stay at, like roaches are common. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna have to deal with them. So I wasn't trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I was spoiled living up here. You know what I mean? For 4 years. So I was
Say
like,
our worst living condition was either Burgess or our 2106 house. I don't know which one was
100%,
worse.
100%. Yo, I don't think we give that house enough credit. We'll talk about that too, but we don't give that house enough credit. So yeah, man. So that happened. So just after talking with some more people, using a couple more connections that I had up here and the connections that they have down there, um, eventually housing did open up for me, magically.
Yeah.
So by the time, I got to that, and again, much prayer, talking with my family, I just didn't feel quite as led to go down there anymore. I just
Mhm.
kind of didn't have that confirmation anymore. Yeah, so I'll never forget, man. I had a tour that morning.
Yep. Which,
And
by the way, me and X were tour guides together for 2
yeah,
years,
yeah,
and now I am the only tour guide left from, like, I think it's like me and 3 other dudes. But
yeah,
at the time we were tour guides, it was about half and half girls and guys.
yes,
And then once you and Colton left,
yeah,
and Trey Gross left,
yep,
it's like me, Edwin, and then there's another dude that's a tour guide with us too. But it's decimated. Like,
wow,
it's crazy. And I go in there and I'm like, man, X and Colton, Trey, y'all, none of us are here no more. So it's
Man.
just so weird.
yeah,
But,
bro.
yeah.
That I loved that job.
That's
I'm not
great.
gonna lie, that was an easy job, and it was the perfect job. Like, they worked around our schedules.
Absolutely.
You got to meet families and kind of give them the first impression of USF that they may not know of. So I feel like not only did we do a great job, but we were a direct representation of the university.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but bro, I've seen a lot of people walk these halls, or I see them across campus, and I'm like, dang, they look familiar. And they're like, yeah, you don't remember you gave me
The tour.
and I'm like, oh wow. So I think that speaks for itself. But yeah, so I came in for a tour that morning, and I remember I was talking to Ben,
Yep.
our boss, our old boss, about just everything that had been going on. And basically he was like, well, he's like, there is an opening down in student development. He's like, I don't know if they filled it yet, but it's technically still online, so why not give it a try? So I remember literally that day, bro, I filled out the application, printed out my resume, handed it into HR, and I was like, yo, it's either this or go ahead and start my career, which at that time I was thinking about pharmaceutical sales, because I was like, well, now let me use the biology degree, you know?
But you would have made a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, 100%. It was just like life was going real fast at like in a short amount of time. So yeah, man, fast forward a couple weeks, and next thing you know, I got the job,
Just
which
crazy.
was nuts, right?
Yeah.
Like, never did anything, I guess, within residence life before. We didn't break too many rules when we stayed on
we
campus.
we try to be as good as possible. But
Yeah, so
we definitely may have done some purposeful things to
yeah,
upset some certain people.
Oh,
but
100%. But nah, man, I'm appreciative, to USF for everything they've done and they're continuing to do for me. And the biggest thing I try to do, especially within the position that I have, is I just try to remember where I was and where my mind frame was at the time. So like if I see a freshman do something, you know what I mean? I try to give them a second chance, just
Yeah.
explain what happened. And I always just tell them, just be smart. Just make the right, if you have to question it, maybe you shouldn't do it,
when you have a plethora of football guys,
100%.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
know I know those kids. And
Yeah,
I know they're
man.
not the greatest
Yeah.
greatest kids on the block, but
Yeah.
I know you probably have dealt with them a few times. And
Yeah. Man, I just, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I put it this way. I try to give them the same grace that was shown to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, when we was dumb freshmen doing dumb freshman things, you know what I mean? I just try to just give them the same thing. But if they do something to where, like, the property's damaged or,
Yeah.
like, people's space is being invaded or whatever, then that's when, we'll
you gotta
handle it.
Put the
But
foot down. Yeah. I
But
feel
yeah,
that.
man, I mean, North, first of all, North is nuts, bro. Like, as far as quality.
That's a beautiful. I mean, dude, it's brand new. Like when we came here, that was what was it, Patterson Apartments?
Yeah.
They tore that down, built up
Yes.
this beautiful new, residence hall. And
Yeah.
compared to the rest, I mean, Sullivan's really nice, but Sullivan's just a square room and it's just spacious.
Right.
But when you are living in a room like that, where you have your own area with one person,
Yeah.
you have a bathroom to share with the people across the way.
Yes.
It's beautiful. I mean, in your rooms,
It's crazy.
even better than that. I mean,
Yeah, bro. Like, that was probably, like, the most shocking thing to me. Like, and especially as tour guides, you know what I mean. We're selling that hall like crazy
Yeah.
to people, right? Because I think that hall costs like 14 million or something to put
To
up.
build. Yeah, I knew it was a lot.
Yeah, so just I mean the quality, the suite style setup, like you just explained, everything is new. Like you literally, other than class, you don't have to leave that hall. Like you know how
You have a kitchen in there
yeah,
too.
you have
3 kitchens
you have
actually.
a kitchen on every floor.
Yeah.
You have a workout room,
Yeah.
laundry on the 3rd floor. Like at least with us, you know, if you wanted to do so, you had to go to Stewart or something to go
Yeah,
work out or
yeah.
whatever. But now the residents don't even have to.
Yeah,
They
they
can
got
literally
everything
stay
they
in
need.
North the whole time if they really want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is beautiful. And
Yeah.
they have the fireplace on each floor.
Yeah.
They got the outdoor fireplace at
Yeah.
nighttime. I mean,
Bro, it's crazy.
you can really only use that like 4 months out of the year in Sioux
Yeah.
Falls, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It's super nice. So, yeah, bro, that was like probably one of the biggest transformations for me. And honestly, on some real ish, that was honestly probably one of the first times in my life where I felt like I made a decision for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I felt like up until that point, I had to make decisions that was gonna be like the best for me and my family or different things like that. So at that time, you know, this summer, it was like, or this previous summer, that was like one of the first times I actually made a decision to where I was gonna do something because I wanted to do it and really didn't factor in everybody else's opinions or thoughts.
Yeah, it
right?
was like you really were truly thinking for yourself, and you were
Yeah.
like stepping in that adult role, like
Right.
a true adult role.
Right. So that was super dope. I mean, you know, you think you've made decisions early on in life, like, oh, I'm finally making this decision for
Yeah.
myself, right? But yeah, man, when the rubber meets the road for real,
Mhm.
and you got to make a decision, like, you know, either you gonna make the decision or you gonna fold.
Mhm.
And folding wasn't an option for me,
Yeah.
right? Because I was like, yo, I can't, you know, go back home. I can't do, you know, so I was like, I got to do something.
Hey,
You know what I
did it.
mean? So yeah, bro. So it's super dope.
That's tight. So how long? So obviously you got to finish grad school.
Yeah.
So is it just another year?
Yeah.
And then you'll just go from there and.
Yeah. So
figure
it's
out what
in.
the plan is?
I'll be done in May of 2021.
So okay. So
Yeah. So next year.
Yeah.
So ideally, man, how I have it set up is the network that I've built over the 5 years now
Mhm.
here at USF. I'm now trying to effectively use that network.
Yeah.
So, you know, you spend all that time talking with professors, talking with admin, talking with trustees, you know, and it helped that I was an athlete. So now that a majority of campus knows who I am and I know who a majority of campus is, now it's like, what do you do with that,
Yeah.
right? Because I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people fail at is like, everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
You know who everybody is, but
What are you gonna do with it?
what you gonna do with that,
Yep.
right? So you have this network. So I was sitting there and I'm like, yo, I have this fantastic network, but am I going to effectively use that?
Mhm.
So yeah, man. So I have some meetings set up with some pretty, you know, important people here at the university, just to have raw and honest conversations with them
That's
of
good.
where I'm at right now,
Mhm.
where I want to go, and just talk about their past as well. I'm not gonna lie, this whole coronavirus thing has postponed a lot of these meetings that I have set up with people.
Well,
but
that's what I was gonna ask too.
yeah, we're hoping to. We're just pushing them back until this thing clears out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So ideally, in January of 2021, I would like to be in a position to where I know where I'm headed
Yeah.
next, right? What city, what job.
So you're not trying to make a last minute decision like you
Right.
did at the end of it. Yeah. I
Right.
totally
So
feel
I'm
that.
trying to be prepared, man, to where, you know what I mean, come May, it's off to the wherever I'm going.
Yep.
And yo, like, I'm gonna be honest, even if it's here in Sioux Falls,
Mhm.
I would like love that as well, because you have two conglomerates of health institutions here
Yes.
with Sanford and Avera,
Yeah.
and USF is in a perfect position to where they have a great relationship with both. Right? Probably Avera more now
Yeah.
since they sponsor us, but I mean, still, we used to rock with Sanford back
Yep.
in the day. So yeah, man. So bro, I'm telling you, man. I just want to make sure I'm effectively using the network that I've built over these 5 years, and just being real with people, asking honest questions. Where were you at?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you were 23 years old,
Yep.
how did you know what you wanted to do? Like, just ask those questions, because I feel like people will respect you for being not vulnerable but honest and open in that space of time. And then, bro, the greatest thing they can give you is just a little jewel of wisdom. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, bro.
And let me tell you one thing, everybody watching, I'm gonna look right at the camera for that. Xavier Scarlett has been dropping knowledge since I've known him.
Oh,
Everything he
man.
just said, he's speaking from the heart, man.
Yeah, yeah, nah, bro. I appreciate that, man. Like, let me tell, like, honestly, I just, bro, I've always picked that up from like the older crowd, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've always, of
You
course,
kind of are old headed, at heart.
yeah,
You definitely are.
I have to be, bro. I feel like I had no choice, yo. Like, growing up with the parents that I did, like, growing up.
When I met your family too, I went to the
yeah.
fish fries. Like,
Come on, bro.
yeah.
Fish fries. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You came to the cookouts. You know what I mean? Like, you know what it is.
Yeah, I do.
You
I
know what I
absolutely
mean?
do.
So, but I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, what keeps me humble and what keeps me grounded is my family,
Yeah.
right? And y'all are. I don't consider y'all friends no more.
Mhm.
Y'all are family.
Absolutely.
So, like, y'all keep me grounded, and remind me of like the purpose of everything. Cause I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just like everybody else, I have my days where I'm struggling. I have my days where I don't know what the hell I want to do, but I just remember the important people in my life and who I'm doing this for. And like, I'll be real, bro. Like, later down the road, my goal has always been to like buy my parents a house, and will always continue to be buy my parents a house, right? So, like, obviously, when you're younger, you think you about to rock out in the NBA or
Yeah, of
NFL or
course.
whatever you got. But reality sets in. But I still know I can do those things.
Through
I
other
just,
means.
right. I
Yeah.
just now have to alter those, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, bro, that's what it is.
Hey, man, this is why I needed you on here, man. You're gonna come on, you're gonna speak facts, you're gonna drop
Yeah.
wisdom on everybody, and I really hope people take in what you just said, because
Yeah.
that's really important, especially for a lot of young people that might not be in our position to where like, I'm done with school in May.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing any more school after that.
Yeah.
Like I honestly can't, bro. Like, I'm tired
Right.
of it.
Right.
But like a lot of people, they need to like pay attention, and I haven't focused on talking to as many networks. We're in the same boat, and we came in both athletes.
Right.
We both gave tours. We've met tons of different people doing what we've done here, and it's like that is such a good thing to hear. Not just from my mom, who's always, because our parents are always going to be like, you got to do this, you got to do this.
Facts.
When are we ever going to always listen to our parents?
Yo.
Never.
Facts.
So hearing it from a friend, it's
Yeah.
like so much better, because it's like it is important to get to know these people and use your networking, so you're not just like, look, I'm gonna throw some facts here. Mr. USF, homecoming king, track star, Mr. Xavier Scarlett, all of those things. But you know what I'm saying, and you're trying to do something with all of that. You've met all those people through the process, and it's dope. It's really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And it's, dude. I know it's been a ride for you through
Yeah.
college, because you tore your Achilles.
Yeah.
You went through all those issues trying to get back in rehab, and then you just, you took a different route. And I know I was with you when you were doing homework. Like, there was times where you'd be like, yep, I got to do 27 pages of this, and I got to do this biology homework, but I got to read this part of the Bible. And I'm like, man, like, you really did an incredible job of balancing that out, man.
Yeah.
I got to say, I applaud you for that, because
Man.
it's been impressive to see, like, what you've done over the years.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, yo, like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like,
Looking
that's
at the camera, let 'em
real.
know.
That's real love right there. Cause at times you forget that stuff, right? Cause like, we're so close and we're brothers at this point. Like, we might not necessarily tell each other that enough, right? And it's almost becoming a fad now. Like, yo, you gotta tell your man how you feel, and it's like, it's true though.
It is.
Like, you just got, even if it's like, yo, my man, I respect what you're doing. That goes a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And like, hearing that come from you, my guy, like, I'm humbled and I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because like a lot of times when you hear, like, when you and your boys finally like come to like an agreement, it's like one of them's usually really drunk, and they're like, hey, you my dog, bro. I love you, bro.
We had plenty of them nights. We had plenty of them nights. Yo.
But it's different, when it's just coming from a true speaking fact of right from the heart,
Yeah.
It's incredible. But
Yo,
I'm glad, bro. I'm glad you came this far. I just gotta say that, bro.
I appreciate that. And the other thing I would say is a lot of times people don't even know like the correct, I guess, terms or phrases or whatever. So a lot of people don't even they may not know the influence that they have, right? So they might not realize if you're, you know what I mean, a star safety
Mm-hmm.
or the star running back and everybody knows you, including professors, including trustees or investors in the school. Like, bro, that's a network.
It is.
That's a network.
really
But a lot
is.
of people don't look at it that way
Yeah.
because they're just like, oh, yeah, it's, you know, it might be at face value or whatever. But if it's face value, if it's deep, whatever it is, it's still a network.
Mm-hmm.
So now how are you going to effectively use that?
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of people, now, obviously, you know, you have the outliers that may not do anything for you. If they shut the door in your face, that's fine,
Yeah.
bro. You got so many other people to talk to and ask. But 9 times out of 10, I would say, you have a lot of people that are willing to help, but they just want to see if you're going to come up to them and ask.
Yeah.
They're going to see if you just want to have a conversation. So that's when it gets, like, real important because, bro, you'd be surprised how many people want to help you, but they're just not going to, you know,
Just
necessarily
Freely do it
give it,
themselves.
right.
Yeah.
But once they come and see you're serious about it and you're asking, bro, they'll tell you straight up, anything you need,
Yeah.
anything, let me know.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, bro, you either have a choice to use that or not use that.
Mhm.
And obviously you don't take advantage of people, but I always say, man, like I never take people's time or presence for granted,
Yeah.
right? So 5 seconds, if they say hello, if they, whatever, that was time they didn't have to spend with
Yeah.
me in that moment,
Absolutely.
right? So, yeah, man.
All right, so we just encountered some technical difficulties.
Man.
Apparently, I must have clicked something that just cut that off. But yeah, so we were talking for, I have 20 minutes recorded, but we were talking for probably another 10, 15 post
Easily.
that.
Easily.
We were running,
Yeah.
and I didn't even
Flowing.
notice. So that's all right.
That's all right, man. Hey,
It's all good.
They don't want to see us be great.
You feel me?
They don't want it.
So we're just gonna get back into it
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah, you know, we'll talk about coronavirus later. So
Mhm.
we're talking about music. We're talking about everything. Yeah, it was so good, but I
Yeah.
feel like we can't recreate that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's
But
all good, man. That was just another conversation between us.
honestly,
you know
though,
what I mean?
it just that ends up being what it is. But
Yeah.
I
want to start it off though.
Yo, you started off
because I know
for it.
this wasn't a part of maybe the recording. I'm gonna ask you that same question just so
Okay.
we can give them that content
Yeah.
we did talk about.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel that with today's generation, like where we are right now, that, like, for example, TPain, Timbaland, and Missy Elliott, when you said those 3 names a decade ago,
Yep.
you knew you know, that's a number 1 on the Billboard, right?
Yeah.
But now it like, say for instance last year I think it was when T-Pain won the Masked Singer, and it was like Masked Singer winner T-Pain,
Mhm.
or, you know, like how do you feel that? Do you feel like living legends like that are getting their proper dues now, or what do you feel?
So this doesn't sound just like a random question out of the blue. We had a
Yeah.
deep talk about music and it got to this. But just like, I think that because that's who we listened to growing up,
Mhm.
we have the nostalgia. The nostalgia of that's what we listened to when we turned on the radio.
Right.
When I turned on 96.9, that was my hip hop station.
Mm-hmm.
That's what would be on, and that's what we grew up listening to. So I believe that nostalgia just is there for a certain age group, just
Mhm.
like our parents have the nostalgia for their age group when they hear certain songs.
Right.
And I believe that they don't get their dues now because they tried. I don't think they can keep up with the music of, like, the evolution of music, because it's always evolving. Rap
Right.
and hip hop is been an evolving factor since it became what it is. You know,
Mhm.
it started off with, 1973. I hate that there's gonna be 2 episodes of me talking about the history of hip hop. What it is.
Yeah.
It started off in 1973, and it just grew and it changed. And you know, there was like a rock influence in the 80s, and then 90s it was all gangster rap, and then you get to the 2000s, and it's like, it's I don't even can't even explain 2000s music in a whole.
A
like,
lot of melodies.
It's
now.
just different, yeah, you know. And then now it's just changing to so much different stuff, and like being hip hop being the number one genre in the world that people listen to, like
big time.
That gives it so much room to do so much different stuff.
Right.
And I think those people, those living legends, are always going to be living legends when you look in the history books. But to some people that don't realize it, is because they don't have the nostalgia mindset, you know. And so like in 5 years, some people's nostalgia mindset might be, you know, I can't say even certain people, because still certain guys are like still rapping, you know, really well. Like people in 2012, A$AP Rocky, he's going to be a guy that at a period of time, he was on top of the world. Right. But he hasn't put anything out that's been to what it was, you know. Because he's trying to, you know, everyone's trying to move with the flow of this always evolving music. Yes. And some people can't do that and stay exactly where they're supposed to, you know. Or people, 100%. You know, you're always trying to grow as a person, as an artist, and and you just move on from those different sounds.
Right. And bro, like I kind of think of it like, even when we was talking earlier about using your network that you have, right? So obviously the top rappers in the world, they know that they can probably rap for the rest of their lives, you know what I mean? But it's like, how else can I have other sources of income? So like even with A$AP Rocky, like you use him as an example. A$AP came in just with that whole different vibe, you know what I mean? Like it's A$AP or die, like you know, like so he brings that in, but at the same time he starts doing this like modeling thing. At the same time, clothing line.
Dude
thing.
loves fashion.
At the same, like you know what I mean? Like so when I see examples like that of people who have a network, have fans, and then they effectively use it right, they blow up, bro. They're here to where like an A$AP Rocky or Rihanna, they don't have to put out music every year anymore. Yeah. Because they're making so much money in the other things. Now, because they love music, they continue to put it out. Yeah. Right? Because I think there's a difference between when you have to put out music to stay afloat or to bring in income, versus when you put out music because you want to, because you love it. Like, you know, like you think about like, or even like Childish Gambino, you know, like you put me on to Atlanta.
That dude is an absolute genius.
You know what I mean? Like to where they can drop surprise albums and we go crazy for them. And it's like, they just don't have to do those things. So it's just about, I think, like constant evolution and just different things. And especially like even with my guy, my idol, like Will Smith, right? Yeah. Think about how Will Smith has like re-evolved himself. Now he's been a person that has preached evolution for the longest time, right? But think about how subtle he did it with Instagram. Yeah. Remember? Because Will Smith was one of those guys where it was like, you only seen them at red carpet events. You only seen them at
in the
movies, their movie releases,
and
like
the press. Yeah, all the press tours and everything like that.
That was it. So now when he hops on IG, it makes it available for his fans to have an inside look at his life. And I mean, we always knew Will Smith was motivational times 1,000. Yeah. So so I just think about different things like that. But
like what you said, like asking about did they not get their dues paid? I think just being at the time we are today, where being the Masked Singer winner might relate to more people than it was like, this is the guy that created Three Rings, a crazy dope album.
I'm crazy. Boy.
Such a good album.
Circus was on that, I think, or Ringleader. My bad.
Can't
Circus,
believe it.
Ringleader. Yeah.
Chopped and Screwed,
bro. TPain's like hits go on forever.
They really do. He really.
This man had he had like the game on lock for a long time. Yeah. Like
think about today when you see a Ty Dolla $ign feature. Yeah. That's what we thought of when we saw a T-Pain feature. Yeah. That's
big time, bro.
That's what you can compare it to.
And even with T-Pain, like he's a real musician. A lot of people don't know. Like if you search in YouTube, go look up T-Pain playing piano. Like my guy gets busy.
Yeah.
A lot of people think auto tune like you just say something to a mic and then like real people that use like the vocators and stuff,
Mhm.
like they know how to play. They're the ones that's controlling
Yeah.
the different keys and stuff with their voice, and T-Pain was doing that. So like he wasn't just singing and then putting in a computer and trying to figure. No, like my man was actually,
Yeah.
you know.
And like, it didn't get it when we were talking about earlier, but T-Pain doesn't need auto tune.
No, man.
That man has an incredible voice without
Big
it.
time.
Oh man, I wish. I'm so hurt that they didn't pick it up, bro.
I know we had a lot of content, but that's all good.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
It's yeah.
We still had the good thing is it picked up the beginning where you were just dropping wisdom, so
Yeah.
which is good. That's important. But, I mean, it only missed a little bit of stuff. I mean, the music thing was great, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Life goes on, and we always got more to talk about.
Oh,
so.
big time, bro. Big time.
So we'll just kind of go in. We'll step away from music for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we talked about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's COVID-19 season.
Mm.
This is going to be a topic for who knows how long.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that is going to be around. It is sadly a very, very, it's not like a deadly disease. It is, but
Right.
it's not as deadly as as comparable diseases have been in the past. But
Right.
it has literally paused the world.
Mm-hmm.
It has just interrupted so many people's lives. But we talked about it. There are some positives you can get out of it.
Right.
And one thing is the content that has been being pushed out
Yes,
by
bro.
so many people.
So many people. Like, you and I talked about how just, like, yo, you literally have so many people on IG Live now, whether it's producers doing battles, whether it's comedians giving you, like, 15, 20 minutes of material that they're working on, whether it's entertainers sharing stories about when they're on the road or movies that they done. Like, you have so many people giving you even more of their private life and making a positive kind of out of this, right? Like, even when you and I talk, just kind of like, I always say, like, I'm a combination of probably, like, a realist and an optimist, right? Like,
Yep.
I understand what's going on, but at the same time, I'm always going to try to look for positives in it. And one of the biggest positives that I've noticed, bro, is, like, you have so many people that are now spending time with their families. Like, so if, you have moms or pops who travels 3 days out the week, 4 days out the week, flying here to there, taking care of business. Now they're home, yo. Like, now they're homeschooling their kids. Now they're watching movies and like
Being a family.
Yes, making up on those precious moments they was missing out on. Now you might have a mom and pops who don't miss the first steps. Now you got home cooked meals and stuff like. So that's one of the dopest things I've think that's come from this unfortunate situation.
And it's so true. It's brought tons of families closer, and you're gonna get the families that the parents are like, get these kids out of my damn house. But
Big time. What?
but it's like, they're still gonna appreciate the time they have with their kids, and like a lot of families that like you said that don't get that, like they get that time now, and like I would love to go home, but I call my mom enough to where it's like I'm there anyways, and
Right.
I know she would love to have me home so I can do all the chores that she needs me to do. But I'm gonna stay here, Mom, so I can do this podcast.
Big time, bro. What? And like even what you said, like when we was talking earlier, think about everything. Like if you went home, and of course we always love our families. Like we never like that. Maybe that's unsaid. Like it don't even need to be said,
Yeah.
right? But like think about what you would be missing out on if you went home. Like we're doing this right now because
Mhm.
you're here. Like you may not have the same resources at home that you do here. Like, or if you do, it's not gonna be for free.
No, sir.
It's not gonna
No,
be
sir.
for free. Like
I would be on my phone recording with a fake microphone, acting like that was it. You know what I'm saying?
big time,
Like,
bro. Big time.
To have this at my or at my dispense is awesome.
Yeah.
Because it gives me something to do.
Yeah.
And like me and Parker talked about in the last episode, you can find a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
People, like, we're bored, yes, but you can go out of your way and find stuff to do, and this is something to do.
Mhm.
And it's something that I can get people to come talk, and that's just something that they get to have as an experience during their day,
Right.
Like, it's hard. You're not going to get a lot of social interaction during these times,
Mm-hmm.
and to have this as like an outlet for people to come just have a little bit of social interaction, and then to be able to have people watch them and have people enjoy that,
Right.
it's cool. It warms my heart. Like
Yeah.
I don't do this just for my own benefit. Like I want
No.
people to benefit from this.
Right.
I want people to go while they're sitting in quarantine and be like, oh, I watched Tucker's podcast and it brightened my day.
Right.
Like,
Bro, and like even and my bad, I
Oh, no,
interrupted
you good.
you. I have to tell you this because I told you it off camera, but I also want to tell you on camera. Like, bro, I'm proud of you, and just I'm more just incredibly impressed with how hard you work and you have worked to get to the point where you are today, bro. Like, I remember freshman year, we used to come in here and we mess around and create songs in the studio.
Gold, baby.
Thought we was, you know what I mean? Thought
Oh
we
my
was about
goodness.
to drop a little heat or something. And then it transitioned and evolved into the culture where you and Jeff killed the game here at USF as far as radio and just talking about life and hip hop. And then when I helped you with a couple episodes, and then now to see where, bro, you're like, okay, what's next?
Mhm.
Like, how can I evolve and how can I change the game even more? And now you got What the Tuck. Like, that's incredible, bro, because for somebody who has been with you for these 5 years and have seen how hard you've worked,
yeah.
and now to see where you are now, bro, like, my man, like
I
congratulations.
appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man.
Like, and it's super dope, bro, and I hope nothing but the best, bro. Like, I hope this dude transitions into so many different things for you, right? So, like, right now, we're thinking What the Tuck sitting down in a studio, and then it turns, What the Tuck on the street or something, where you
Yeah.
talking to random people or
Yeah.
people on the street. Just think, like, different things like that, bro. Like, I'm so excited to see what the
I
future
appreciate
holds
that,
for you,
man.
my guy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit like where people have came from, like Stephen A.
Yeah.
That dude was doing late night sports stuff. Like, we're talking late night. We're talking about like the 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. stuff.
Yes.
And just grinding his way. And now he's like top paid
Analyst
at E
at ESPN.
It's crazy.
Ludacris was literally, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he was, I don't know if he was a DJ, but I know he was a radio, like a radio personality, basically, we can call him that. And he used to spit bars on the radio, like over beats and stuff. But Ludacris, I can't remember what station it was in Atlanta, but he used to do that before he became Ludacris.
Yeah.
Big earring, wearing Allen Iverson type.
Yeah.
Ludacris, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Making videos where his arms was, what I'm saying?
bro? Yeah, man. So this is only the beginning for you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
And that's why I'm excited, man.
I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, which has been cool. Because I think, honestly, because of this, it's the perfect time for me to start. And I was planning on doing this, and then I actually got, like, kind of pushed back because of the COVID-19. Like, it was spring break, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go in and do a couple stuff, work on my logo and just get some stuff out, right?
Right.
And then they closed school down for that week because they had the kid on campus that had it, or his dad had it. So and I was actually on campus that day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so I went home, and I was just like, I'm staying at home for a week. If I don't get anything, I'm good, right?
Right.
So I stayed at home for a week, and then I was able to finally come in and really get stuff rolling. I did my video, recorded with Parker, and I'm recording with you. I recorded with Cade, Nate, and J-Rock, which sadly I have to redo. But it's been something to do, bro, and it's like I've gotten a lot of positive feedback because people are just stuck in isolation looking for something to watch.
Yeah.
Bro,
and I'll tell you this too, like, right now a lot of people think, and I think they're correctly thinking that there's a high demand for media, for podcasts. Like, if you go back 5-10 years, podcasts weren't even, people were doing podcasts, but they weren't really popping. Now everybody wants to do a podcast. Everybody wants to have their shows, which nothing's wrong with that. But when I see somebody like you and the hard work that you put in and what you're doing, the cream always rises to the top, right? So you're going to have it's going to be saturated right now. You got a lot of people doing the things that they do.
Especially right now.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody deserves, a chance.
Of course.
Their chance.
You want to see everybody succeed in the long run.
100%. But yeah, man, I always say the cream rises to the top. It's proven. So
just hope for the best then.
Yeah.
But other than that, in this time of COVID-19, we're looking for stuff to watch. Have you watched the Tiger King yet on Netflix?
Bro, I'm like halfway through it. I think.
Me too.
Yeah. And it's nuts, bro.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Like, you talk about just, again, perfect time to drop stuff like on Netflix or Amazon, whatever you're watching. Like, that Tiger King thing is nuts, yo.
That is crazy, bro.
Like,
I've never seen human beings, like, first off, Carol killed her husband. I don't care what anybody says.
My man was about to go see his little girlfriend down there again, and then
definitely killed him.
She told him, like, yeah, go down there if you want. Go down there if you want. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're fed at the big cats.
Boy.
She definitely killed him.
She definitely did, bro.
Joe Exotic is one of the craziest specimens of people I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Why did that worker that got their arm bitten off still work there post-arm bitten off?
A week later.
Crazy.
A week
I mean, you got to make
bro.
your money, but still.
And she was riding for them, too. She was like, yeah, I got to go back to work to, like, because she saw what the media was doing. She's like, nah, I got to get back and, like, and defend him and be. I was like, boy, you talk about a ride or die.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's, bro, that, like, I don't want to spoil too much if people haven't seen it, but, like, I mean, you can pretty much assume if you're watching the video on a private zoo with a big tiger, someone's got their arm bitten off somehow, some way, but that, like, that show is different.
Yeah.
It's different, bro. It's a really, really, like, it's a good show because you're, like, so interested of.
Right.
It's not a normal thing, And anybody that wants to watch anything that's not normal, that's what you want to watch, right?
100%, bro. And I always say a great and a well-produced documentary is always going to have both sides represented.
Yep.
To where you have presented all of the facts, all of the information that you know, and then that leaves the viewers to then make a decision which side they want to choose.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, poorly produced documentaries is just when you give one side information. And
like
it's
Aaron
like
Hernandez doc.
Completely. I'm glad you said it. I was thinking and screaming it over here in my head. But, like, when you just give one side, information, and it's a poor documentary because it's like, yo, at least give both sides.
And let the viewers decide.
So I say that because with the Tiger King, you had Carol's people, you had Joe Exotic's people. What was my man that had the polygamist?
Oh, Bhagavan.
Yeah.
Bhagavan Ansel or something like that.
Yeah. So you got, like, you have all these different sides.
But it don't matter. Yeah.
And, and people can
think
decide.
what they want. Yeah, because you're going to have the people that are like, I'm for Carol's side. Save the exotic cats.
Yeah.
You have the people that are for Joe's side. They're like, no. To hell with Carol.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have all the people in the middle that are like, Carol killed her husband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
big
it's
time,
like,
bro.
it's such a good doc. But the Aaron Hernandez documentary, I didn't like it.
I wasn't a fan of it.
I felt like there was just a lot of, like, questions that were brought upon. There was no really answers to me. Everything was kind of just up in the air.
Right.
Yes, he was a murderer. Like, he did kill people, but, like,
yes.
I feel like there was just a lot of issues in it where it was like, I don't know if this is the right person to interview for this, you know?
Yeah, and I saw, I think, Aaron Hernandez's lawyer put out a statement or something basically saying that when they approached him for the documentary that it was supposed to be completely different. And then, so he said that the finished product that was aired was not the same product that they discussed.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty unfortunate because, like, even...
It's kind of shiesty.
Yeah, bro, because even watching it, I was like, I'm not taking away the fact that Aaron Hernandez murdered people. Like, yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you didn't have, I think, enough of his side represented in it with his head trauma, with, but... Of course, the powers that be want to keep that hush-hush.
Yes.
Like, they don't want to get into that conversation.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because I think another good doc was the Ted Bundy tapes.
Yeah, it was really good.
Did you watch those?
Yeah.
And, like, that's hard to kind of have a side of a serial killer, but I think they did a good job showing every side of Ted Bundy.
Right.
The fact that he had a whole wife.
Yeah.
And was still doing what he was doing.
Normal.
And,
and then at night it was
he was
a
out
monster,
there going
bro.
crazy, you know. And I think they did a really good job too. But that's a good point. Like good docs show both sides.
Both
and
sides.
poor
Let the viewers
documentaries don't.
choose.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's a great point.
You watched the Quincy documentary yet? Quincy Jones documentary?
I haven't.
Man, it's been out for quite some time.
I would say
now.
I think I've seen.
Yeah.
Because you have my Netflix account, so I think
I do.
Yeah, so I see what you watch.
I do.
Yeah, I see what you watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And bro, I've watched that thing so many times, but I would say if you're a fan of music and you just appreciate everything about music and art, first of all, you should know who Quincy Jones is. And watching that documentary and just seeing what he went through in his whole life, bro, and to see where he is. We're talking about, I think if I'm not mistaken, Quincy Jones has 20 something, I think it's like 24, 25 Grammys. Like,
I'm gonna fact check you.
Yeah.
Because it's an incredible number. I
Bro,
know that.
It's because at the end of the documentary, it gives you all of the accomplishments he's had. So it gives you all of the #1 albums he's produced, all his Grammys, all the nominations.
Why are you gonna tell me? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30.
30.
And then
He has like 50-something nominations, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
41 nominations.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, bro.
Or 42 nominations.
So
Sorry.
think about that. Think about the legend, like who Quincy Jones is. Not only in, bro, he was the first African American Grammy band director. I want to say, literally one of the first, if not the first, I believe, black composers for films.
That's impressive.
So literally, like, and it breaks that all down documentary. So
Yeah.
I would say watch it, bro, because
I want to say I started it, but there was a time where I couldn't during football season I was trying to watch and binge watch these shows and watch these documentaries.
yeah,
For some reason, bro, my mind just I was I don't know if I was bouncing around too much from football and I just had too much going on that I couldn't just sit down and watch.
right.
So I got behind on so much stuff that I can do it now. I got all the time in the world,
Right.
But because I want to say I started watching it and I was like, this is really dope, but I just can't sit here and watch it right now.
Yeah.
So I think I cut it off.
Bro, it's good, man. It talks about his relationship just with anybody in the music business. 9 times out of 10, your favorite rapper, singer, entertainer, I'll just say, has worked with Quincy Jones, or Quincy Jones has done something in their life that put them at the top. Like, think about, okay, I'll give you this. Think about, what was it, Austin Powers? Think about that
movie?
song.
Oh, so
His,
the movies?
like the theme song.
Mhm.
Quincy Jones wrote that, bro.
Yeah, that's
Like, just think about how powerful that is, right? Think about just Quincy Jones, his relationship with Ray Charles, his relationship with everybody, Michael Jackson. Let's not forget Thriller.
yeah.
Let's not forget Thriller. Like, yeah, man. Check that out, bro.
Okay, I will. I would. I want to. Do you think Stevie Wonder is blind, or do you think he can see? This is an honest question because I've been seeing these videos and Anthony Adams, Lionel Richie,
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Family Feud, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Who else was it? There was 2 other people that are like, nah, Stevie Wonder can really see.
Yeah.
They literally fully believe that he's just been BSing people this whole time.
Nah, man. Stevie's blind, bro.
Bro.
Stevie.
Anthony Adams said that he played him in a game of basketball, 1-on-1. I think it was a shooting contest. He said Stevie beat him.
Nah, man. I can't.
Bro,
Stevie's
you
blind.
got to look it up, bro, because it's honestly hilarious.
Yeah. Nah, man. Stevie's blind, bro. Like,
Why is it Anthony Adams, not Anthony Anderson? Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That's what I
Yeah.
figured you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
There's some people whose presence and spirit just kind of envelop who they are, and they're so great at what they do. That's what it is. Like, think about it, because you don't. how talented Stevie Wonder is. Like,
It's
we talking
crazy.
about Stevie Wonder
Yeah,
here.
it's
Like, don't
talent.
ever get it twisted, right? Because of who he is and how great he is, that's what people want to say or say.
Yeah. But no, it's honestly, because I watched a video on it. It was pretty funny. Like, they were all talking about their experiences, and Lionel Richie was talking about how he wanted them to come. Oh, Shaq had experience too with it, and he was Lionel Richie was talking about how, like, he was like, yeah, come get in the car, and he was like, Stevie got in the driver's passenger, and I got in the side, and he's like started to back up. It's like, Stevie. He goes, gotcha. He was like, how do you know to get in, like, where to go into the car? Anthony Anderson said he came up to him, like, there were a group of people, and he came right up to him and said, Anthony, come point me to a piano. He goes, if you came up to me, why can't you just go to the piano?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, there's these funny experiences.
Yeah,
that it's like,
I think I heard Shaq's because they said, I think Shaq was on the elevator or something.
Yes.
And Stevie was, like, in there, but Stevie walked on the elevator.
it was like, what's up, Shaq?
Yeah, it was like, what's up, big fella? What's up, Shaq? Yeah, bro.
It's funny. You got to watch there's a couple videos I saw. They're pretty hilarious. Just look
Yeah.
up Is Stevie Wonder Blind on YouTube, and there's
Yeah.
like 4 videos that just
I'll
talk about
check
all the
that
different
out.
things. It's, yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
It's
bro.
honestly pretty hilarious. Yeah, man. I just I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
It's-
that's no problem.
I've been wanting to get you on,
Yeah.
and it's been important to me to have you on because of what we did with the culture. You know, when we
Yeah.
were just doing radio and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
you know, you're my dog, so
Yeah,
just had to get you
man.
on.
This is a forever thing, bro. Like, I appreciate you. I can't wait to come back on. I'll say.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait to see what my face looks like in that little logo.
Oh, we're gonna go do that very
yeah,
soon.
bro. But nah, man, it's always love, my guy. I appreciate you just for being solid with me throughout all the years.
Always.
You know the next fish fry you coming. So
By the way, before we end this, I never had catfish. Never in my life did I have catfish until
Man.
I went to the Scarlett's household, and,
Bro, what?
and Mom's got me right.
Yeah. So if y'all don't know, at the Scarlett household, every summer we do a fish fry, and my mom fries catfish. My dad makes some slabs. He'll throw some slabs on the pit. My aunt makes some baked spaghetti, which you love. Nana, rest in peace, would always make the peach cobbler,
Oh,
which
the peach
my
cobbler was
mom
incredible, too.
my mom can make it just like Nana. So we do this, right? So I told Tuck was coming through. Everybody came through. You, Colt, Wentz,
Paul, Bug,
Bug.
yeah.
Like, but we still
Nard
got pictures,
came the
bro.
next year.
Nard
Yeah.
came. Like, everybody that supposed to be at the crib was there. Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie came too.
So, like, we was trying to warn Tuck about the itis. We was like, bro, we was like, yo, the itis is real. Tuck was like, nah, I'm good. So we sitting there.
Because I'm known to eat, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
can eat. Everybody knows that I can put down food.
What, bro? You was smacking the catfish. We was like, all right, Tuck, ribs, baked spaghetti. Like, Tuck was going nuts. We was like, all right, Tuck, all right. Man, it was like an hour later, bro. We got pics of Tuck
And Paul.
slump.
And
yes,
Paul.
you and Paul slump on my basement floor. It's finished, but they ain't need no couch. They just needed a pillow.
Paul was on the couch.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, yeah.
'cause I was like, I was just laying on the floor. So we were all hanging out down there.
Yeah.
And if you know me, like, I'm weird. I'll just sit on the floor. Like, it's just
Yeah.
what it is. And I just passed out.
Yeah.
Woke up, came out, and you guys were all playing dominoes outside, and you just
Yeah.
looked at me like, you should have known.
That itis, boy. That first feeling ain't nothing like it though. But yeah, man. But yeah, Tuck, much love, my guy. I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely, man.
I
You're
can't wait
always
till the
welcome
next
on the
time.
show, bro.
Yes, sir.
Always welcome. I appreciate you. I was What the Tuck. I'm out.
Love.